Uh-oh, Rich.
As you know, I have been on record. If he does not start another game for the New York Jets again,
You're good with it.
I'm good to go.
You're good.
I am GTG.
Okay.
You're good.
I am all in on Mike White and seeing what he can do the rest of the way. Certainly because, just look at Garrett Wilson. We're talking about him being Offensive Rookie of the Year, and the reason why is he's been dynamic the last few games since, the best games he's had this year, you could say. The one in Ohio, when Joe Flacco came back on the Browns in week 2, and then the last few weeks since Mike White has been the quarterback. We've seen proof of life of Elijah Moore. The only proof of life of Elijah Moore that we saw when Zach Wilson was quarterback was him saying he wanted to trade. You're going to get a target. And now you're seeing multiple receivers at work here, and Mike White. Him taking one in the chops in Buffalo and then leaving the game and then coming back in the game and then taking an even worse hit, going in the locker room and coming back, and then needing to go to the hospital for just precautionary look. Matt Milano nearly sawed him in half like a magic trick. and he was able to make the flight home, and you're even hearing guys in the locker room just love this guy. And so Robert Saleh has his finger firmly on the pulse, which is another reason why I'm not panicking about Zach Wilson not being the guy, because the coach is the guy, the GM's the guy. And could you imagine, Jet fans, what this current situation would look like if Breece Hall and Elijah Vera Tucker didn't go out for the season about a month and a half ago? Could you imagine if Breece Hall, the way he was looking in the first 6 weeks, was just getting started? Could you imagine? We wouldn't be talking about Brock Purdy or Garrett Wilson or anyone else being Offensive Rookie of the Year. He was him. All right? But Zach Wilson has taken his demotion properly, professionally, said all the right things, done all the right things. The reset, pardon me. They didn't call it demotion, called it a reset. Needed to reset. And him being the third inactive, earbud wearing, dressed like, he's on the surface of a Star Wars planet during all of these wintry mix games. Apparently, there it is right there. He does look like Baby Yoda right there, man. He's just so young. I can't believe.
Where's the coffee mug?
He's very young.
Mug.
Yeah, sipping some tea, some soup, some bone soup. Hey, look. He was supposed to have the mental, I guess, vacation to him focus on everything he needs to focus on. But now, Mike White taking on the Lions. You want to talk about a huge game in Week 15, which is great for both teams. It's called huge. Lions are red hot. They're now 6-7. They have a real shot to make the playoffs in the NFC. The Jets are 7-6. They need to bounce back and show that their first 2/3 of the season is real, that they have a real shot at the playoffs too. Zach Wilson's the backup. He is now number 2. Flacco is now out of the mix.
Oh.
Here's Robert Saleh explaining.
We're moving up Zach to the number 2 spot and make Joe the 3rd.
Why, Robert?
Zach's been doing a great job. He's been deliberate in his approach over the last 3 weeks. He's been holding himself accountable with regards to how he wants to attack practice, how he's been performing in practice, going against our defense, which I think is a pretty good defense to go against, and working on all the different things that we've been asking him to accomplish.
Look, Robert Saleh, there's no such thing as the Robert Saleh show every day on the Roku channel, so he's not going to come out and say, I don't care if Zach doesn't start again. Of course he cares if Zach starts again, because he might need Zach to start again. Who knows? You're a head coach in the NFL. You need to make sure that somebody like Zach Wilson, certainly when you chose him 2nd overall in the draft, is ready to play. And if this kid winds getting back up in there and starts throwing it around, and the offense looks just like Mike White's operating it, and all the better. And then when you can have a quarterback competition at some point, maybe next year, and Robert Saleh can handle that too, because he seems to have handled everything else. Elijah Moore wants out. You stay here. Actually, you're actually benched in Denver. You stay here, and we'll get back to you. Now, he looks pretty useful, doesn't he? He wants to do that with Zach Wilson. I'm all in on that. But for the moment, I want to see Mike White out there. Mike White versus Jared Goff. This is going to be a fun game. I'm serious. And the 2 defensive rookie of the year candidates, 1 and 2 in my estimation, Sauce and Aiden Hutchinson, are on the field.
Yeah,
Aiden's gunning for White,
no doubt.
and Sauce is gunning for whoever. I'm on Ross St. Brown, who as you know, I think is a top 10 receiver in this league. Jamison Williams, okay, who was chosen a few choices after. I think the pick after Garrett Wilson, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't the Lions choose 10th and they chose him right there?
Yes.
There they go. So here we roll. Fun game. And once again, I just love how Robert Saleh is handling it. Certainly if he says in his locker room, and I'm sure he does, you practice, you do everything we ask of you, you will be rewarded. He says, Zach Wilson, you sit down, you do this, you do that. We don't like the way you've done this. You need to do this, approach practice and meetings a different way. And if he's done it, elevate him. Sounds good. Mike White, Zach Wilson against the Detroit Lions in a must-have game for both.
Agreed.
Isn't it fun? Jets Lions. And then, by the way, right around the corner, Jets Jaguars.
2
for
fun
Thursday
games.
night.
Trevor Lawrence is balling out, man.
Yeah. And he might have to, and Zach might have to sit there and watch Mike White take the reins instead of it being 1 and 2 in the previous year's draft going against each other in a must-have game for both playoff hopefuls. They'll have to sit there and watch Mike White take his reps. And apparently he's taken it well. Enough to get elevated to number 2 on the depth chart, and I am cool with it because I believe in the coach. And the rest of that team loves them some Mike White, as do I, by the way. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.